Hello, everybody. We are Cyan Kicks. We love you.
What does your favorite band really think? What's new in the rock and metal scene? And how can you make it as an artist or band? In the For Those About to Rock podcast, we're sitting down with the biggest names in rock and metal. And we take a peek behind the curtain of the local music scene. For this episode, Finnish band Cyan Kicks joined us for an interview on their Europe tour with Autumn Kings in the Viper Room in Vienna.
Singer Susanna and guitarist Niila talked to us about their love for the Eurovision Song Contest, about the sacrifices they have to make as musicians, and they revealed why one of them nearly ended up as a bank employee.
A little note before we start. For Those About to Rock is airing every Sunday with the best rock and metal. So tune in if you want to leave the weekend with music, interviews and news from the underground. Sunday 6 past 8 p.m. on Radio Agora 105.5 or on our live stream at agora.at/livestream. Hi guys, how you doing?
Hello. We're doing very great.
How has the tour been so far?
Yeah, we're doing great. It's been amazing, like going first time to places. We've only played in Germany headlining, but this time we're going all around Europe. So I've been so like amazed by every single person who's come to the shows and bought the tickets. And
Yeah, it's always like that with headline shows. Like those people are here because of us. It has been very nice.
Talking about the crowd, you guys took part in the national, to explain it to our audience, in the national contest for the Eurovision, and twice actually. And did that affect your audience? Do you have like a mixture of Eurovision fans and metalheads nowadays?
Yes, we do actually.
Really?
Yeah. Around the Europe, there is a lot of Eurovision fans who knows us from the UMK.
yeah, we've done, of course, the Eurovision qualifying, and it's always good to see people who are Eurovision fans and they come like, you need to go the third time. But also we've done few support tours across Europe. First time in Germany with Sunrise Avenue, and then with Smash Into Pieces all around Europe. So that's been good.
But in different interviews, you talked about the UMK appearance opening doors for you guys. How important is such a thing, especially it being such a big thing in Finland? Because, like, for reference, just for you guys to know, in Austria, we decide who we send to Eurovision behind closed doors. Nobody has a part in or a saying in that. And for that reason, I think, maybe also for other reasons, Eurovision is either a bit ridiculed or really polarized. Some love it, some hate it. How is it generally in Finland? How do you think it's really important that you have that contest?
Well, it used to be just like you said in Finland also, like the minority of people loved it and most of the people hated the whole concept. But I think it changed like in the last 5 years, and I think nowadays Eurovision is kind of cool.
Yeah, it did change maybe 4 years ago. Yeah. And that was the time when we started to think that, or 5 years ago, we started to think that it would be so nice to take part of UMK and, represent Finland. Yeah.
What is Eurovision to you?
I love everything about it. It's like visually very nice, and it's a thing that brings people together and beautiful shows. It's cool.
Yeah, I think it's the largest like music event in the world. Yeah,
I think it is broadcasted, definitely. Yeah.
Yeah, Some say it's Super Bowl, but I don't see that as a music event.
Coming back to Austria's part in it, do you know Austria's song for this year? And who's your the horse you would put your money on this year?
I would actually, at this point, I would put it for Austria.
Really? Cool.
Yeah, I think they're number 2 in the odds or something like that. Yeah.
I have to say that I haven't been following. No, because being too busy for everything, so I haven't had time. But of course, I'm rooting for Erika, our own. Yeah.
something a little different, but I always like to talk about that with bands, is the music industry. Like, I have the feeling that every other day Spotify comes up with some or rolls out some new feature that actually takes away from artists. What's your take on that? Like, the latest two being that you opt into the AI being trained by your music, with your music, and the other one being that everyone can remix your songs basically with other artists on the platform.
Yeah, Spotify, it's a hard game. Like, but at the end of the day, it's still the one that pays our bills. It's the only thing, because of course we sell physical CD and vinyl on tours and some from our internet store, but still, like, Spotify is the one factor that makes all this possible for us. So it's good and it's bad. The noise that comes out every day, it's like 150k tracks released every single day. Trying to get your stuff pop out from there just requires a lot of, like, hard work. You need to focus on every single track full on. And yeah, now we've thought about maybe we should just release singles, and then package that to an album, because I kind of hate it, but that's the name of the game nowadays.
Yeah, isn't it? The album is dead, isn't it? Like,
it's not dead for the fans, and I love album, but
all the tracks in the album, they don't get the attention that the singles.
And it's sad.
It is, yeah.
So is there anything particular, because both of you also, like, initially started out doing the production and writing most of the music, right? Is there anything did it change your songwriting to some extent, to know that every song has to stand on its own, and then maybe later we package it into an album or something?
Yeah, actually, because we see all the data all the time from Spotify for artists, and we see how different styles of tracks perform. And we noticed that we need to do some heavier stuff now. Because last album, I Never Said Forever, it was kind of pop rock. We loved it. We wanted to do it like that. A whole pink theme of the album and that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But
we want to go a little bit back to the roots.
Yeah. And there's never, like, we don't plan what we want to do, but now this time around we feel like we want to do some heavier stuff.
Yeah, and I love how we always feel like the same. Like with the I Never Said Forever album, we were both like hyped about the pop sound and not being so heavy, and yeah, we love this. And now we want the next album to be much heavier. I love how we always agree.
Yeah,
like it's like almost like one person when it comes to music.
Yeah, but I noticed that songs that start heavy and go right full on from the very beginning, they do better on Spotify.
Interesting. So to some extent it changes what you want to do, but still, after all, it's your own decision, right?
Yeah.
That brings me to another question. Because it's also the type of music I love, basically, being really poppy, having really poppy, catchy elements at the same time as electronic elements, at the same time as rock and metal music. Did you also have the problem when you started out to be too heavy for the pop fans and too poppy for the metalheads?
I think that has been the problem from the very beginning.
Yeah.
Like, people don't know how to categorize us, and we don't even want to categorize our music.
Yeah.
Nobody wants that, but yeah, people want to they need a label to put a label on it, right?
Yeah, but I don't feel it's that much of an issue here in Europe or in the States, because in the States we are, like, seen as a heavy metal band, like metalcore band even, because it's just so different. Back in Finland, we're pop.
Yeah, that's... And in the US, we're metal.
Yeah, we always get added to the metal playlists, and then people in Finland, what the fuck are these guys doing on this metal playlist?
For Finnish musicians, like, cute, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Staying out on that topic, you said you grew up in a smaller town in Finland, and you had a hard time finding a band, and you found each other through a website. What's the problem? Because for us, metal enthusiasts all over Europe, it's like Finland is like the Olymp. Was the problem more to find a band that is not black metal or technical death metal, or just finding a band in general?
Yeah, it was. I was struggling a lot because there were so many, like, very heavy metal bands, and that wasn't something that I was looking for.
Classic metal.
Yeah, and I tried. I met people, I met groups, and it didn't feel right. And then that band, I found Niila wasn't part of the band, but I found him through the band. But that was the only band I found that I could hear a little bit pop in their music. So I was like, oh, okay, maybe if I join that band, I can change the direction to the way that I want. And yeah, but luckily, I'm so proud that I did that, because we wouldn't be here if that wouldn't have happened.
Yeah, that was the time I was playing in prog metal band, and I was playing in a symphonic death metal band, and. But
so you did the whole trip.
yeah, I'm a like true heavy metal guy from the heart.
The thing that I want to mention is that you were about to give up on music. Like you were like, I will stop making music, and you were dreaming about working in a bank.
Well, not dreaming, but that was one option.
You were dreaming about it now.
That was like, maybe this is cool.
I can't see you in the bank
as a robber.
Can't.
I'd agree on that. Like, yeah. That's quick money, maybe.
Yeah.
Much quicker than in music.
Okay.
Yeah. The music industry, do you have I think a lot of people don't really realize. They see all the glitter and they see the live performance and they see everyone having fun on stage, but they don't realize how much work being a musician actually is. And do you, like, what's your take on that? Would you say that being a musician has a way bigger toll on someone that working in a bank or something like that? And what does it, a really small question, what does it take to be a musician? What sacrifices?
I mean, it's a job, a 24-hour job, and it's really hard. And I'm still learning how to separate my own life and this band. And I've just woke up to this idea in like just past couple of years. I've been thinking that, God, I need to have my own life and this band, because it has been 100% mixed and it's not healthy. Then you're working all the time and you have struggled with the same thing.
Yeah, we just started having like weekends off in last year. Yeah. Before that, it was like constant grinding.
Yeah, we couldn't make any plans even, because we wanted to be available for this band.
But now that we work like 5 days a week, I think we're more effective now. Like we get more stuff done.
Yeah, we have shorter days, and also Monday to Friday or Monday to Thursday even, that we have longer weekend.
Talking at home, right? Like on tour, that's...
Yeah, but on tour, like all my friends are like, how can you do this? Just like we have a mini nightliner with 9 bunks and 7 crew members, sometimes 8, sometimes 9. And it gets pretty crowded. And I can only imagine for you being the only female.
Yeah, but I don't even think about that. It's like I'm one of the guys. I've always felt like that.
But you need to have the sense of humor for. The bus smells quite horrible sometimes, and we smell. And
I'm not sensitive. I think it's just so fun to spend. These tours are the funniest thing I know.
Most horrible, like, I don't know, tick of your fellow band members, or most adorable at the same time, I don't know, tour habit?
The thing is that we have like 4 jokes that we repeat the whole tour. It's just like brain dead, brain rot.
Yeah, and some jokes are that level that we can't even see. they're
not on air.
But and I think it's quite common. With bands that tour. Like there's always like the jokes are so stupid, because everyone is so tired and exhausted.
Who has the best humor, or who comes up with the most jokes?
I love our light guy Furdo. He's so funny. Even looking at his face, just
he's like naturally funny.
Naturally funny. I love him.
Leading up to the UMK, staying at mental health, let's call it that, musician mental health. You talked about your mental health, your stage fright. Is it hard to talk about mental health nowadays? It's somewhat easier, less stigmatized, but still to some extent. Was it important to bring up that topic in general, or is it important? Should we talk more about mental health in music industry?
Yeah, we should, definitely. Yeah.
Because both of you said how hard it is, right, to be a musician. What else comes with that? Also, like mental strain.
I mean, you're all the time. You have to receive so much different opinions. How to say that in a good way? But yeah, people are putting you down, and also the industry and people working in this industry. They're not the easiest persons. So it's not easy. And also, it is like for me being on stage. I feel like I'm very naked there. So it hasn't been easy to gather that to become that brave person and just go on stage and take it all the hate, all the love.
You're very open as a musician, right? You're putting out the most dear thing to you, and then you're open, but also for hate and other stuff. It's hard to.
Yeah, when we participated UMK the first time, it was a shock because before that, no one knew us and we didn't get any hate. But then I realized, oh God, this is what it can be when
it's a toxic world.
Very toxic world. People just find they think that you're just they see you as an object and not a human, and then they just pour all their stress and their bad feelings on you. So yeah, it was harsh. I got a lot of negative comments and stuff.
Yeah, you were bullied on the internet.
Yes, I were, and I did read all of the comments, and that was a big mistake. But I don't do that anymore. I don't. Last time we were in the UMK, I didn't read any of those comments, and I was just like, I'm gonna just be on my own Instagram. Of course, I get some hate there as well, but not like that. There are my supporters, and I will chat with them and get the energy and the courage from them.
Also, in light of that, will the third time be the charm or not?
I mean, we don't like to give up.
Yeah, let's say it that way.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Is there a certain? Let's dig a little deeper there. Is there a certain? Is it also? Can it be good to be kind of suffering? A lot of big artists, a lot of big art came out of some kind of distress, or is that just a stupid?
I used to think that also.
Romantic.
But, I used to think like that also, but now after all these years, I feel like if you're in a positive mood and everything's like balanced, I get the most work done. But some of our songs have come from like very bad situations in life.
The best songs and the best stories come from like real events. So I always have something that happened to me or happened to someone else, something that I have experienced, some kind of topic in mind when we start writing a song. Like I want the song to come out from a real life, something that happened. The best thing is if it happened to me. Yeah. And I've been struggling. I struggle a lot with relationship stuff. So that's how I Never Said Forever came out. The whole album is about letting go. And I was dealing with that kind of feelings a lot. So that's how it turned out. And also it's more meaningful for me because it's one phase of my life that I was going through.
Is it also cathartic for you guys then to have that on a record? Or is it, for instance, Sam Carter, right? They had the whole story with Tom Searle dying, the guitar player and also main songwriter of them back at the days, Architects, for everyone who doesn't know. And he said at some point he didn't want to sing certain songs anymore because it simply reminded him of Tom all the time. So first it was cathartic, but then it was bad for him to have that.
Yeah, I can understand that. But I find so much joy being on stage and seeing people, connecting with people. So I don't really, it's not like that all the time. Of course, sometimes I get really emotional while singing the certain songs, but usually it's just, I just want to have fun with the audience and sing with them. And I don't go too deep into the story of the song, but just going crazy with the audience and singing the song together.
And yeah, talking about your creative process, you have your own studio, which is a big advantage over other bands, I think. And you go there regularly and then write music. Does that work? And how important is it to have a space and a time to write music, like a routine, basically?
I think it's super important. But lately we've been doing like songwriting. It's totally separate from the studio time. We went to LA, for example, last year, and we just wrote songs. Like we added the kick drum, like corner floor kick drum, piano, and then we just wrote the songs. And we have those kind of demos that are super stripped down, like only 3 tracks. And then we got back home and started working on like, okay, how should we approach this song and make it a rock song, make it a pop metal song. I think it's super like refreshing to separate those two processes.
Yeah, and the songwriting is so much faster, and it's just like writing a couple of songs in a day. If it couldn't be possible to if you would focus on producing too much.
I mean, it's interesting because it's the other way around, isn't it? So, usually the band comes with the idea to the producer in the studio and then finishes the song. You pretty much wrote the ideas and then finished that yourself, right?
Yeah.
It's the other way around, basically.
The songs are like I said, stripped down, but then I start hearing things in my head like this could be something like that, but I've never do that in the studio or in the during the songwriting process. I just keep it in my head and then have a few weeks off and then start focusing on the tracks. And it's basically like writing pop songs. We just want to make a good pop song and then turn it into whatever.
Let's talk about your newest track, Echo, or your newest EP, Echo. And even though people tell bands never get political, what are the biggest things that weigh you down, since Echo is a message to the fans to get through dark times together, right?
Yeah, I mean, everybody can. I think that everybody can agree that life is not easy. You have to be strong and just get back up time after time. And for me, this world, it's not. I mean, we've built this world the way that it's not good for humans. We're not supposed to live in this kind of world, I think. So the way we treat this planet and animals and every single beings in here, I think it's sucked big time. So it's and we've wrote a couple songs about it.
Yeah, Wish You Well is kind of that same, and The Flood, for example, our older tracks.
Is that something that you think people should do? Get active, do something about it? I mean, that's as a musician, of course, it's writing music about it and talking about it, but also as individuals, basically.
Yeah, totally. Well, I can say openly that I'm active environmentally. I'm a vegan and try to live sustainable life.
Yeah.
And I'm being loud about it on my Instagram, for example.
Is there anything, like, let's take it from the really serious parts, change the gears a little to the more funny side. Is there anything other than just wanting vegan food, I guess? Anything funny on your tour rider? Because like what Mariah Carey wants the backstage full of puppies or something? Or
Oh my God.
No. It's pretty simple. Like we have like just surprise us if you want. That
okay. That's cool.
But it's pretty normal. Like nothing fancy.
No, like sport drinks, Gatorades, fruits, bread. If there is something vegan, we're happy.
Okay, we're gonna wrap it up. What do you know about Austria and about Vienna, maybe? For
the classical music, the beautiful mountains. Austria is kind of good at ice hockey, which is my favorite sport.
kind of good is it's hurtful for an ice hockey fan, but
Yeah, but we're from Finland.
yeah, I know. I know.
Red Bull.
We have our own billionaire, yeah. I mean, that's a lot.
Yeah.
Really, to be fair, that's
It's
a
a
lot.
lot.
Yeah. And something we ask every band: what's your main advice for young musicians, aspiring bands? What to do or not to do?
Never give up.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Yeah. If
Yeah.
you really want it, never give up.
Yeah, I believe that if you give it all, everything, like, I believe that you have to give 100%.
Mhm.
Yeah. There's so many examples of bands that have been doing their craft for 15 years
Mhm.
or something like that. And then all of a sudden it breaks, like or it goes up after that. They
Yeah.
get it started. Like
Yeah.
many of our, for example, Smash Into Pieces, which we toured with, they did that they've done it nearly like 20 years.
Mhm.
Just recently, they got it to that level.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And there's so many examples of those bands. So never give up if you really want it.
Yeah, and also try to learn from the best. I mean,
Yeah.
and from the best, I mean, from those bands and artists who has there that you're trying to get.
Mm.
Be humble.
Yeah. And don't copy anybody, but get inspiration. Try
Yeah.
to find your own
Yeah.
thing to do.
Mm-hmm. And
Yes.
you will find it.
Yeah.
When you just keep on doing it.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you so
very
much.
Thank you.
Thanks for listening. If you like this podcast, please leave a comment or review in your podcast app and follow us on Twitter, Facebook, or wherever you listen to podcasts. For Those About to Rock, every Sunday on Radio Agora 105.5.